Hey everyone, it's Cathy Zielske. Welcome back to my channel and my studio. Today I've got a fun card project to share that features all kinds of different techniques and some new products. So let's get into it. That video is coming up next. Here's a look at the products I'll be using for today's video, and I'm going to do something that I haven't done in a while, which is ink blend a panel. And I'm going to use this new stencil from Simon Says Stamp. It's called Heart Blooms to overlay some solar paste. So I'm kind of doing some things today. But I've got my new die. This is Bestie, and it has the word and shadow layer. I've got a trio going from pink into yellow that I'm going to use for my ink blend. And I've got some new sentiment strips here that also coordinate with the Bestie die, so you can make a wonderful card either with the black on white or the reverse, which is the white on black. These are also foilable because you can run this through a hot laminator type foil machine and add foil to the greetings. I might do that today. It depends on how involved this is. So let's start out with ink blending. So I've got my grip mat, the 6" by 6" one from Waffle Flower. I'm going to just make sure my brushes are basically clean, and I just use my paper towel roll. And I'm going to make a very simple blend. So to speed this up, I'll put a little music on and we'll create a panel. That is the blend, and I'm going to let this sit for a moment. And as you saw, my Peachy is very it's very dry. And I think this is the first time I've re-inked it, and I'm not great at re-inking. Like, I think this is what you do, right? You just squeeze, let it soak in. Sometimes I mash it in with a brush, but I don't have re-inkers for every color, and I always try to remember when a pad gets dry, there we go, to re-ink it, or to order a re-inker. So there we go. We'll just tap those and let them soak in, and it will be juicier for the next time. But for now, I will let this smooth out just a little bit, and then I think I'm going to trim it to my actual panel size before I add my stenciled pattern. So my Bestie die is pretty decent sized, and I'm going to, let's see, to snip apart, what you do is you get right in there and clip. These metal snips from Hero Arts are really good for this. They get right in between those little areas. You can clip really close, and then you can come in and take off the tabs on the rest of the die. I try to do this very carefully so they don't go flying, but this way I'm going to eliminate bleeding on future projects, which has happened, and I'm always like, where did I get cut? Oh, because I didn't do that. But what I'm thinking is this is probably going to have to be a horizontal card because of how large the Bestie is. See that? I mean, it's not huge, right? But for what I want to do, I think I'm going to go in a horizontal. All right, let me grab my paper trimmer so I can trim this down a little. So I think I will do, this is going to be 3 3/4 by 5. I like to take off the edges because in case there is any heavier ink on the edges. Also, look at that. Then you have cute little colorful strips that you could use for something else. That's very cute. And let's see, how much of this do I want to preserve? I'll do 5 1/4 right there, and maybe a little more off here. But I want to keep more of that pink, so I'm going to flip it and get it right here at 5. Oh. This way my panel is trimmed before I add my stenciled pattern. So I'm going to take, actually, I'm going to magnet you so you don't go sliding around. These magnets, these pond magnets, they're great. I mean, you can still move things. It's not like it's holding it, you know, perfectly in place, but it does its job. I am going to take a little repositionable tape just so that that panel stays where it needs to stay. And we'll take our stencil out. I have not done this type of thing, blending with, you know, some sort of paste medium in a while. So this is kind of fun. And what I like to do is I do it on, I don't like to, even though the glass mat's easy to clean, I still do it on something that I don't have to worry about cleaning up. So we're just going to put some low-tack tape, top and bottom. I guess that's enough. So I'm just going to have this little friend and let's see, my little scraper. Hopefully we're going to make this work. I always get very nervous. And I think I'll get a little bit of this. I'm going to dampen it just so I can wipe off my little spatula. All right, so solar paste. I thought that Overheated would be nice because it has sort of this warm tone, and I could be wrong about this, but solar paste versus lunar paste, it has all of this shiny pigment in it, and it's also a little more subtle. So I'm just going to take out a goodly amount, I guess. And I'm going to, oh wait, you know what I just saw? There's a tiny heart in here that is not out of the stencil. Oh, let's do a little, I feel like I'm playing Operation. Okay, get out of there. There we go. I guess what I'll do is I'm just going to put it along the base like this. Right? Put it along the base like that. Get a decent amount and then scrape it on. I have no idea. Okay, I think I need more. Let's pop on some more. Like that. Okay. And a little more. We're just getting it all in there. I hope I get it on all the places. And my husband just started vacuuming. You've got to be kidding me. Right? Okay. Hopefully you can't hear that. He's vacuuming. Oh, and he's going to come up the stairs any minute. Oh my gosh, Dan, I love you for your domestic joy of creating, but I apologize if you can hear that. Here's what we're going to keep doing, though. We're going to keep scraping it down, scraping it off, and I might put some music on in the playback if this is super annoying. All right, so we've got that. I am not going to put this, well, yeah, I'm not going to put it back in the jar, and I'll tell you why. It's because it might pick up some ink. And let's just lift this up real quickly so you can see. Oh, look at that. That is amazing. All right, now that he's vacuuming and making a whole bunch of noise, I am going to go rinse these off and we will let this dry. So now I have shut the door to my studio. You know, I'm filming on a Sunday and I know better. I know better than that. I shouldn't do that. Now I want to try to get it up and there we go. That's what I wanted. Up and off so that this, come here now, has a chance to dry. Okay? And while that's drying, I'll go ahead and get my greeting prepared. So as this is drying, it has sort of, you can kind of catch the iridescent sort of warmth that it has, this light orange. And I thought that cutting my Bestie out of some champagne matte cardstock from Simon Says Stamp would be a nice fit for this. So let me glue on. I like to build on the shadow layer sometimes. I find it easier. So again, we're going to speed this up a little and I'm going to build this up. have my champagne that will look very nice. I think this is, it's not quite dry. I just put my thumb in it. All right, I'm gonna have to let that dry a little. We're still not quite there. So I'm gonna wait until this completely dries because you can see I just put my thumb in it. I'll set this here. I could facilitate it with a heat tool. Maybe I will do that, but I think moreover, I'll just set it right here. And when I return, it shall be dry. So what I'm doing right now, I found some rose gold deco foil, and I decided I was gonna foil a whole sheet of sentiments, all right? So let's, and I don't know how this is gonna look. I don't know if it will work, but I will tell you this. This pack comes with 4 of the same sheet. So I figured I could go ahead and do one whole foiled one. But one of the things I've done in the past is I have cut first and then foiled. But here I'm doing it in the reverse because I really don't want to muck up any of the toner ink. That is how you can get foil to adhere to it because it melts going through a laminator, whether you have a Mink or this system, which is the Fuse, or even just a regular heat laminator. And I also put a piece of cardstock just for my packaging in the back, just for a little added pressure. I like to let it cool a little, and I kind of just, cut my piece wonky, but let's see how this transferred. Right, I think I could have gone a little warmer. Most of it transferred. There's a little black showing through at the bottom, but I am going to use one of these and cut them out for my greeting. Can you see the shine? Let's see. There we go. There we go. Now you're catching it. All right. All right, moving on. I went ahead and cut out Thanks for Being My Friend using the narrowest of my Simon Says Stamp sentiment labels and then just trimmed a little off each side. I have foam tape on the backs of all of these pieces, so let me get some cardstock to make a note card. I'm going to do something I don't often do, and that is a different color than white card base. I'm going to make, this is Cotton Candy from Simon Says Stamp. And I'm going to go ahead and give that a nice score. And I will give this a press with my Teflon bone folder. Okay. I'm going to tape this closed just to hold it flat while I am working. Take the backers off of the foam strips. And I'm going to pop this onto the note card. Stand up while I do it so I can see side to side. Excuse the fuzz of my head if it gets in the way. And we're going to pop that down. What's fun about this is subtle, but yet at the same time, look at that texture. There's so much texture on it. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to have Bestie be here. And I want to make sure I leave enough room for Thanks for Being My Friend right underneath. And I feel like that is a great placement for Bestie. So I'm going to put you here for a second. I'm going to bring in my T-square. Actually, you know what I like to do sometimes? Let's just hold that and hold that so it doesn't really, well, I mean, it's not the strongest magnet in the world, but it'll hold it in place while I slide this up right about there. Then I can take off the backers. And these are the thin foam squares from Simon Says Stamp. I wanted a little more dimension, but I've already got some dimension going on, so we didn't want to go too wild here. And I will add a little dab of the liquid glue to the center, just so that I have a little bit of wiggle room before I commit to the placement. And we'll just hold that in place. Now you're in my way. Get up there. Side to side, make sure it's equal, and drop that down right on the ruler. Yeah, that looks good. And press. Okay, and now I also have the same depth of foam square. I've just cut them into little strips. So this is also the thinner loft. And again, this has the rose gold foil, so when it catches the light, you can see the foil, and I think that's really pretty. The reason I love tweezers so much, these reverse tweezers, number one, they hold things and you don't have to squeeze them, so that's awesome. But also, they get your hands out of the way so you can actually visually have more of a view of what it is you are doing. And I think right there is going to be just fine. I can confirm that straightness with my ruler. But yeah, that looks good. And press like that. So now I have this beautiful texture. Thanks for being my friend. I'm not going to put anything else on this because I feel like, there's so much shine happening with the various elements. And that is my finished card project for today. Thanks so much for watching today. You can find links to all of the products I used in today's video in the YouTube description box. I'll also have a blog post with more information about the card, and I'll have that linked in the description as well. If you're not a subscriber to my channel, I'd love to have you, so hit that subscribe button and don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next time I post. Thanks for watching and have a great day. To see more cards featuring my signature word die cuts, check out the 2 videos I have linked for you below, and I'll see you in those videos.